Welcome back to Virtual Stoic. Picture this. Your phone dies right before a life-changing call, or you sprint to catch the bus only to watch it speed away, leaving you in a cloud of exhaust. Sound familiar? Frustration isn't just a small bump in the road, it's like that annoying guest who raids your fridge, overstays their welcome, and acts like they own the place. We've all been caught in its grip, feeling tangled and overwhelmed. But here's the truth. Frustration doesn't have to control you. Today, we're not just tackling it, we're showing it the door permanently. I'll be sharing 7 powerful Stoic practices to help you transform frustration into calm, control, and clarity. And hey, if you're new here, take a moment to hit subscribe and ring the bell, because mastering your mind is the ultimate power move. Let's dive in and take back control. Ready? Let's go. Number 1. Master your circle of control. Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. Epictetus. The first and most important Stoic principle to handle frustration is understanding the circle of control. This principle teaches us a powerful lesson. There's so much in life that we simply cannot control. We can't control the traffic that delays us or the weather that cancels our plans. But here's the twist. What we can control is how we react, and that's where true power lies. Let's consider the simple scenario of missing a bus. It's frustrating, right? You're running to catch it, but just as you get there, it pulls away, and you're left standing in the cold. In that moment, frustration seems inevitable. It's easy to want to yell, throw your hands in the air, and let your anger take over. But ask yourself, how will that help? Will it bring the bus back? Will it change anything at all? The answer, of course, is no. So why give in to that negative energy when you have an alternative? Instead, take a deep breath. Use the extra time to your advantage. Meditate for a few minutes, listen to a podcast, or simply take in your surroundings. Perhaps it's a good opportunity to clear your mind and recharge, rather than waste that time in anger. Life will throw us curveballs, weather, delays, misunderstandings, but our response to them is what defines our peace of mind. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to do more, be more, and achieve more. Society often ties our worth to productivity, making us feel like we're failing when things don't go according to plan. But Stoicism teaches us that life isn't a checklist to be conquered. It's a series of moments, some we can plan for, others are completely unexpected, that together form the narrative of our lives. So the next time you feel frustration bubbling up because things aren't going your way, take a step back and ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, then let it go. There's no point in dwelling on things that you can't change. But if the answer is yes, take action. Focus on what you can do, and don't waste precious energy on what's out of your hands. This shift in mindset is liberating. It's like clearing your phone of unused apps. You don't realize how much they clutter your space until they're gone. Similarly, by letting go of the uncontrollable, you free up emotional space to focus on what truly matters: your peace, your goals, your well-being. Now imagine for a moment if everyone embraced this principle. No more road rage, no more tempers flaring in the grocery store lines, and no more pointless arguments over online comments. Picture a world where everyone understood that their energy is best spent on the things they can control, how they respond, how they move forward. That's a world worth striving for. So the next time life throws a curveball, remember, focus on your circle of control and let everything else slide away. In doing so, you'll find yourself not just managing frustration, but overcoming it altogether. Number 2. Zoom out for perspective. Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well. Epictetus. Have you ever noticed how in movies the camera often zooms out to give a bird's-eye view of everything? Suddenly, the entire scene becomes clear, and you realize just how small and connected everything is. In life, we often get so caught up in the details of our personal world that we forget it's just one piece of the puzzle. The issues we face may feel massive in the moment, but sometimes all we need is a perspective shift to see them for what they truly are: temporary, insignificant, and fleeting. Take, for example, getting frustrated because your Wi-Fi is down. It's annoying, right? But now imagine you're looking at that problem from outer space, where entire cities look like tiny dots on a globe. In the grand scheme of the universe, your Wi-Fi is practically invisible, a tiny blip in an ocean of life. Doesn't that put things in perspective? This simple shift in perspective can cut through frustration like a hot knife through butter. Of course, I'm not saying your problems are trivial. What I'm suggesting is that we often give them far more power than they deserve. We blow them out of proportion in our minds, turning molehills into mountains. Then we wonder why we feel overwhelmed by problems that, when viewed objectively, are relatively small. Zooming out isn't an escape from your problems. You can't ignore that flat tire or an urgent deadline, but what you can do is change the way you view those challenges. Instead of viewing them as monumental roadblocks, you start to see them in the context of the bigger picture. When you zoom out, you'll find that your problems shrink, but your appreciation for what truly matters grows. Think about it. If you're healthy, if you have a roof over your head, if you're surrounded by people who care for you, doesn't that count for more than a small glitch in your day? This practice is not just about mental tricks, it's about realigning with what's truly important. By focusing on the bigger picture, you'll notice that the individual pixels that make up your life seem less distorted and more manageable. Next time life throws a wrench in your plans, take a moment to zoom out. Step back and look at the full picture. You may discover that the obstacle in front of you isn't as daunting as you once thought, freeing you to face it head-on instead of being paralyzed by frustration. Number 3, embrace the power of now. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Seneca. We're all in a race, aren't we? Racing to finish school, to land a dream job, to fall in love, to meet expectations. Chasing all these imaginary milestones that society promises will complete us. In this never-ending sprint, it's easy to trip over the very thing that's right in front of us, the present moment. The Stoics, however, offer a different perspective. They argue for a pause, a focus on the now. In today's fast-paced digital world, staying present can feel like an impossible task. We're bombarded with notifications, distracted by endless news feeds, and often overwhelmed by worries about what's coming tomorrow. But here's the catch. Frustration often stems from either the pull of the past or the anxiety about the future. We get frustrated because things aren't happening as quickly as we'd like, or we stew over something that happened long ago. But when you center yourself in the present, you take back control of your time and energy. It's like stopping a leak in a sinking ship. You stop letting your energy leak into moments that are out of your grasp, the past that can't be changed or the future that can't be predicted. This doesn't mean you shouldn't plan or learn from your mistakes. Planning is necessary, and reflecting on past errors is valuable. However, letting them consume your present moment is like borrowing trouble from a future that hasn't yet arrived, or hoarding regrets from a past that's already gone. So how can you stay present? Start by detaching from the noise around you. Turn off non-urgent notifications, take time to do nothing, or practice mindfulness. When you're engaged in something, truly engage. Don't just eat, taste. Don't just listen, hear. Don't just touch, feel. Being present is also a powerful antidote to frustration. When you focus on the here and now, you narrow your scope to what can be acted upon immediately. It simplifies, clarifies, and brings a sense of peace. By embracing the power of now, you minimize the space and time for frustration to thrive. You can't control everything, but you can control where you place your focus. And when your focus is on the present moment, you'll find that many of your frustrations simply dissolve into the ether. Number 4, audit and manage your desires. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca. Let's talk about desire, a close cousin to frustration. You desire something, a new job, a promotion, more followers. And when it doesn't materialize, you feel frustrated. It's a cycle many of us know all too well. The Stoics, however, offered a powerful antidote to this, known as the dichotomy of desire. In Stoic philosophy, desires are divided into two categories, natural and vain. Natural desires are those that contribute to your basic well-being, things like food, shelter, and health. These are the desires that are necessary for survival in a fulfilling life. On the other hand, vain desires are the ones driven by excess, things like fame, excessive wealth, or the need for constant admiration. These are the desires that, when unchecked, can leave you feeling empty despite achieving them. The Stoic approach isn't about renouncing all desires. That would be impractical and unrealistic. Instead, it's about managing your desires, carefully weighing them to determine their true value. The goal is to fulfill natural desires as much as necessary for your well-being, but to be cautious and selective about pursuing vain desires. It's human nature to want more money, more likes, more stuff. But have you ever noticed that chasing these things often leaves you feeling drained rather than fulfilled? It's like running on a treadmill expecting to get somewhere, when in reality, you're just spinning your wheels. The trap of vain desires is that they're endless, always dangling just out of reach. The more you chase them, the more exhausted you become without ever feeling like you've arrived. The Stoic solution is not to completely renounce desire. Rather, it's about auditing your desires. Before becoming frustrated over not getting what you want, ask yourself, is this really worth pursuing? By recalibrating your desires, you'll naturally reduce your frustration. When you're not chasing after unrealistic or superficial goals, there's less room for disappointment, and consequently less room for frustration. So how do you determine which desires are worth pursuing? A good rule of thumb is to ask yourself whether fulfilling this desire will truly contribute to your well-being and growth. If it's more about gaining social validation or seeking short-term gratification, it might be time to rethink it. Understanding the dichotomy of desire is like a software update for your mind. It streamlines your goals, sharpens your focus, and boosts your overall performance. The less cluttered your goals are, the less room there is for frustration to fester. So go ahead, audit your desires. Once you declutter them, you'll find it much easier to navigate life with a sense of purpose and direction, rather than being tossed around by the unpredictable winds of vain wants. Number 5. Practice negative visualization. How does it help to make troubles heavier by bemoaning them? Seneca. Before you jump to conclusions, let me clarify. Negative visualization isn't about being a Debbie Downer. It's not about dwelling on doom and gloom, but rather preparing your mind for potential setbacks so that when they happen, you can handle them with grace and resilience. Let me give you an example. Imagine your day is going terribly. Your coffee spills, your computer crashes, and you miss your train. Now take a deep breath. None of this has happened yet, but by practicing negative visualization, you've already mentally walked through it. You're prepared. This exercise does 2 incredible things for you. First, it bulletproofs you against the initial shock of any unfortunate event. So when the Wi-Fi inevitably crashes 5 minutes before your big presentation, you won't panic. You'll adapt and find a solution because, in your mind, you've already been there. Second, negative visualization actually magnifies your gratitude for when things are going right. When you've already mentally considered what could go wrong, you'll start appreciating the little things more. The unspilled coffee, the reliable technology, the punctual train. You'll begin to realize that these things aren't guaranteed, and suddenly your joy multiplies. You might be thinking, won't thinking negatively make me anxious or pessimistic? The Stoic answer is no. The goal isn't to dwell on the negative, it's to acknowledge it enough to dilute its power to upset you. This is not about expecting the worst all the time. It's about making peace with uncertainty and fortifying yourself for whatever curveballs life may throw your way. Remember, it's not the situation that causes stress or frustration. It's your perception of the situation. When you've already mentally rehearsed how you'll handle setbacks, your perception of those situations changes. They no longer feel as overwhelming. Here's how to put it into practice. The next time you're sipping your morning coffee, take a few moments to visualize potential setbacks. Whether it's a flat tire, a missed meeting, or a forgotten deadline, then let them go. By preparing yourself mentally, you'll find that when life does throw those curveballs, you'll catch them with the grace of a seasoned player, not the panic of a first-timer. Number 6. Love your fate. Fate leads the willing and drags along the reluctant. Seneca. If you've been nodding along so far, this next Stoic principle might resonate deeply with you. Amor Fati, or love your fate. This concept goes beyond merely accepting what happens to you. It's about embracing it, loving it, and understanding that every experience is a lesson in disguise. Let's break it down. Imagine you get fired from your job. It's a tough blow, but instead of drowning in frustration and self-pity, you could see it as an opportunity, a chance to shift your career path, learn new skills, or explore something you've always wanted to do. Or maybe your relationship ends. Yes, it's painful, but could it be the universe's way of saying there's something better out there for you? This doesn't mean you should suppress your emotions. Sadness, disappointment, and frustration are all natural human responses. The Stoic approach is to feel those emotions, acknowledge them, but then flip the script. Ask yourself, how can this situation enrich my life? This is the essence of Amor Fati. It's about taking what many people consider to be a bad situation and converting it into something good. It's about shifting your mindset from being a victim of your circumstances to someone who thrives through them. Moreover, this Stoic practice is incredibly liberating. It frees you from the grudge-holding, blame-laying mindset that drains your energy. When you embrace Amor Fati, you no longer ask, why me? Instead, your default setting becomes, try me. So the next time life throws a snag in your plans, don't just bear it, embrace it. Love your fate, and over time you'll see that your fate starts loving you back. It's not about ignoring life's challenges. It's about finding a way to dance in the rain, rather than waiting for the storm to pass. Number 7. Remember Memento Mori. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. Seneca. This might feel like a heavy one, but bear with me. Memento Mori, which means remember you will die, is not about dwelling on death. It's about living fully. It serves as a powerful reminder that our time here is limited, and that truth sharpens our focus on what truly matters. Think about it. How often do we get bogged down by small annoyances? The rude comment, the missed opportunity, the traffic jam. When we remember that life is finite, it puts those frustrations into perspective. They seem trivial in the face of what's truly important. Instead of squandering precious time being frustrated over minor inconveniences, Memento Mori encourages us to take action, to prioritize what's meaningful. It urges us to change, to grow, and to resolve our issues, not tomorrow but today. Our limited time doesn't offer us the luxury of procrastination. How can you use Memento Mori in your daily life? When frustration hits, pause and ask yourself, in the grand scheme of my finite life, how much does this moment truly matter? More often than not, you'll realize that whatever you're fretting over is far less significant than the time you're losing. This practice isn't meant to create fear, but to inspire gratitude and action. It acts as a filter, helping you focus on what's truly important and freeing you from distractions. By incorporating Memento Mori, you'll reduce frustration and increase your appreciation for what you have, making your days more meaningful and your actions more intentional. Remember, life is brief, and by embracing its impermanence, we enrich the time we have. And there you have it, 7 Stoic practices to help you handle frustration and start living with more clarity, peace, and purpose. You don't need to apply them all at once. Take your time and start with the one that resonates most with you. Isn't it empowering to know that frustration, as overwhelming as it can seem, can be controlled? You don't have to be its victim anymore. These Stoic teachings offer you a way to not just understand frustration, but to master it. If you found these practices helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. Join the virtual Stoic community, and let's dive deep into life's lessons together. Leave a comment below and share which Stoic practice made the biggest impact on you. Or tell us about your own ways of dealing with frustration. Your insights might just be the guidance someone else needs. Until next time, keep harnessing the Stoic within you and face life's challenges head on. You've got this.